are a lot of people here who have a lot to thank you for. We're still coordinating the prisoner evacuation, but we're going to start airlifting personnel out of Hadra tonight. By the time Roland's reinforcements arrive, we'll be long gone. We'll rendezvous with you in Jatil, and then start concentrating our efforts on retaking the capital. It's going to be a tough fight, but with...
Sir, I'm sorry to cut in, but we're picking up a broadcast you both need to see. It's Roland. I'll patch it through.
The town of Vale has been identified as a distribution point of illegal weapons and equipment, stolen by terrorists to use against Duke William's forces. The flow of these arms has cost numerous lives in Kentares' peacekeeping forces. Such open defiance of the law is a disease and will not be permitted to spread, whether the source is an individual, a mob, a town, or a planet. Therefore, to maintain order and peace on our world, military forces have been mobilized, and at 6 a.m. Coastal Meridian time, Vale will be leveled to the ground. No building will be left standing, and no man, woman, or child will be allowed to escape to spread their seditious contamination to the rest of Kentares.
What does it mean? He's going to destroy Vale? What can we do?
I'm not sure. Rathburn,
Yes, sir.
where is Vale? Have the satellites picked up anything moving into the area?
Nothing significant. Vale's on the eastern coast, sparsely populated. Most of Roland's military presence in the area has been driven back or wiped out. That's why the resistance was routing supplies through the town. The region's mostly swamp, which would cut off any... Oh, hold on. This might be something. I've got a comm intercept for Roland. Looks like Castro.
Kulin starts executing military prisoners and now you're playing at genocide? Are you insane? Do you know anything about the history of this planet? You won't stop rebellion this way. You're going to spread it. Not just across Kentares, but beyond. I refuse to be a party to this madness.
Which is why I removed you from the chain of command on this operation. While you would have whined about the logistical details and asserted that the rapid application of force was impractical, Commandant Burke identified an airfield near Vale, from which we can stage the 2nd Bomber Wing to implement our demonstration.
You can't! The second I have those bombers protecting the...
And once the bombers have finished with Vale, the population of this planet will finally understand what defiance will get them, and this conflict will end. From now on, you will confine your attention to defense of the capital. And Vonda, challenge my authority again. I'll consider you a threat to this operation and have you shot. I believe this concludes our discussion.
Major,
Yes, sir.
airfields near Vale?
The 2nd Bomber Wing are Shallones. They'd have to carry a lot of ordnance, which would limit their range. There's an old abandoned airfield about 70 clicks away that would have a strip long enough.
We'll have to divert from Jatil. Joanna,
Yes?
the Resistance will have to make strikes without us. Can they do that?
We'll take some losses. To save Vale? Yes. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Major, upload what you have on the airfield. Let's get moving.
Yes, sir.
We salvaged a couple of long toms, young Duke. I wanted you to know should the opportunity come up for you to use them. They are basically snub-nosed artillery pieces. Incredibly powerful area effect weapons, but they're large and they're very heavy. Personally, I don't care much for them. Their travel times are too long to be useful, in my opinion. Still, I have known very good mech warriors who do swear by them, so I wanted you to know they were available.
Alright, so welcome back. You saw what was going on. I don't really need to mention much about that other than, yeah, again, as they say, if there's ever a planet you don't want to risk genocide or threaten genocide on, it's Kentares IV.
No sign of the airfield.
It's around there somewhere. No precise location data. You'll have to scout around.
Roger.
Once you find the field, see if they've reactivated the control tower. If you take it out, they won't be able to fly another group of bombers in there.
I've got some lights up ahead.
If you run into any patrols, take them out quickly. You don't want them to warn the field before you get in and destroy the bombers on the ground.
Also, I don't know what was up with the sound going in and out on those videos recorded that way. It's not anything I did do it, so I don't know what's up. But yeah, probably going to pop up again at some point here. If you don't know the backstory of Kentares IV, without getting into a lot of detail on it here, just to give you an idea of what they're talking about with threatening genocide and all that. During the First Succession War, several hundred years before, there was an incident where the planet had been invaded by the Draconis Combine. The coordinator of the Combine got out of his mech, not in any kind of, anything special, just wearing battlefield equipment, togs, as they call it in game here, and was killed by a sniper. His son, when he took over, decided to get his vengeance on the planet and unleash the military under orders to kill everyone they came across, killing about 50 million people on the planet of Kentares IV. It's even, hundreds of years later within the Battletech canon and stories and all that, it's just referred to as the Kentares Massacre. It's something even the usually pretty bloodthirsty Draconis Combine is not proud of and doesn't like to have mentioned or to them or be reminded of. It's something that to this day is one of the many, but one of the biggest of the many reasons that the Federated Sons / House Davion and the Draconis Combine / House Kurita continue to absolutely despise and hate each other is this thing they have in their shared past, I mean, look at how long, countries on Earth can hold grudges against each other for shit that happened centuries before, Basically the entire, if all of the deaths that had happened in World War II were done in the span of about a year, and were almost all civilian deaths as retribution for one person being killed. That's basically what happened on the So this one's pretty simple. We got a few missions here on a kind of swampy wooded peninsula where we're trying to defend civilians and take stuff out. And eventually toward the end, as you'll see, we're also covering a evacuation of people. So it's pretty straightforward. This entire video, not even, the audio for it, but the entire video beginning to end is only going to be about 40 minutes long. This is a pretty quick one, especially compared to the last one. However, after, excuse me, after this, we get into the end game where we move into the capital city and the assault on the palace, which I'll put all into one video to get it done and out of the way. So the one after this is going to be the last one of these, and is probably going to be the longest even once I edit it down. So enjoy a relatively brief one here before we get into a real long slugfest. I have to do some editing on that one though, because I had a couple of times fighting in the city where either objectives weren't completed or we just got surrounded and swamped. So I had to rerun them. And as always, I'll point out what I did wrong when it gets to it, rather than make you watch it, just to show you what happened. But this one was pretty straightforward, right straight through. These 3 or 4 missions go pretty quick. I don't remember exactly why I went with this particular loadout for this mission. I think there was a reason for it, but I don't remember. As you see, it's not exactly the best, so I think after this one I changed to a different loadout. I think I go back to my autocannons and PPC setup, but I can't remember for sure. I believe this is also the last portion of the campaign that I run my heavy mechs. After this, once you get into the city, and especially the palace assaults, you definitely need the assault mechs, so time to break out the big boys. get everybody playing with the big toys.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
So many vultures in this part of the game.
That's the
There
last
we go.
one. All bombers destroyed.
Roland will try something else. He can't afford to make a threat and not follow through on it. Roger, Omega. Mission complete. Return to base. Roland's not going to be too happy about losing his airfield and one of his few remaining bomber wings. Guess he should have listened to Castro. Good thing he never does.
I don't even remember seeing a Mauler. How the heck did we salvage one? Maybe I just wasn't paying that close attention.
Good work, sir. Destroying the bombers gave Vale a stay of execution. Unfortunately, it may only be a limited reprieve. I picked up this transmission as you were returning from the mech bay.
My lord,
What is it, Burke?
the airfield's been destroyed. When I arrived, it was still on fire. The bombers are scattered in pieces all over the area.
Destroyed? Scattered? I had communication with that airfield not 2 hours ago.
There are signs of mechs all over the field. It must have been Dressari.
If you and William had killed this upstart along with his uncle, I would still have my satellites, still have my drop ship, still have my supplies, still have my bombers, and still have some reason not to have you flogged to death. As it is, I have none of those things, and no way to follow through with my decree.
You have the destroyer stationed at Argon, my lord. It could sail up the coast and shell the town from the sea. It could be here with only a day's delay in your decree. And Dressari must still be in the area. I'll find him and bring him to you.
Bring me Dressari's head, and you live. But your failure to deal with this situation earlier will be noted on your record, along with 2 grade reductions in rank. Are my orders clear, Lieutenant?
Yes, my lord. I will begin my search immediately. He will be dead by morning.
That's it.
Is there any way we can stop that destroyer?
Negative. But I had another idea. Roland won't rest until he levels the town. Let him. It'll be almost 40 hours before the destroyer's within range. Vale is a seaport, as are several other towns within 60 clicks along the coast. Collectively, they have a small fleet of civilian watercraft. We evacuate the town by sea, boat lift the entire population out.
Is that possible?
If we act fast. This whole coast has become a hotbed of resistance activity. I don't think there'd be any question we could get the ships. It'd be close, but it could be done. Roland does have some small craft that patrol the coastal waters. They're spread out over a large area along the coast. They'd have to be eliminated, or they'd stop the evacuation and radio for reinforcements.
All right. We'll split up and hunt down Roland's coastal patrols individually. They shouldn't present much threat to a single mech.
I'll upload a map of the area and contact resistance personnel to get the boat lift started.
There we go. Also, I don't know if my mic is going to be picking it up or not, but we are getting wind and rain here like crazy, so if you hear it in the background, apologies
Just
for
run
that.
the nav points I set up in your nav computer and take out any patrols operating in the marshes. Should be mostly hovercraft in that area. Satellites picked up 4 groups.
Roger, Major. I'll sweep the nav points and destroy any units I see.
Nope, I
How's
did not
everyone else
change my
doing?
weapons loadout.
They're all deployed, taking out some of the other threats to the boat lift.
How's it going, boss? I ran into a few units, mostly hovercraft. Ian, Steiner had a few
Maybe I figured with so many. Maybe I figured with so many vehicles, the machine guns would come in handy.
Sweeping south, Commander. Ran into a couple patrol boats, but other than that, been pretty light.
However, in retrospect, I should have
Glad to
taken
hear everyone's staying
PPCs.
busy. I'll sweep this area and get back as soon as possible.
See, this is one of the things you see here, a little sample of kind of what happens sometime on tabletop, depending on what you're up against. As I've said earlier, with the armor in this game being much more effective versus the weapons than it tends to be in tabletop, it doesn't really end as badly for me as it could, but you will have events or battles on the tabletop where somebody will decide they just want to absolutely swarm you with light, cheap vehicles rather than face you with big, heavy, expensive battle mechs, which is what's happening here, and will just absolutely swamp you and rip you apart. Which, as I say, the armor being so much more effective in this than it really should be, it's not really an issue. But you do see, if you watch the bars on the right side there, they are chipping away my armor little by little. You also run into the issue with that, with so much stuff to shoot, it's very easy to run out of ammunition or overheat yourself, which can also be a serious problem.
Target destroyed.
That's two.
Roger. At this rate, it shouldn't take you too long.
Not a lot to say during this one, just ripping vehicles apart until I get to the... I believe this one has a little boss fight at the end of it, but nothing real severe. First time I've used the LRMs on this one.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
I know I have that one on locked on radar, but I'm trying to get this one off by itself back here. I don't like leaving anything unfinished. There he is.
Target destroyed.
Target
Oh,
control
look
neutralized.
at that.
Enemy
Roger.
detected.
Just hit the last one and get back.
Roger. I just picked up an intermittent radar
And then he
contact.
disappeared.
Any RF sources in the area?
Because game.
Negative. Maybe you'd better break off.
Just one patrol to knock off, and I'll head back.
Might as well repair and rearm while I'm here. love the people just walking around while I do
Shutting
it. Like,
down.
hey, here's an enemy mech that just
Initiating
walked into our
repairs.
repair bay. Let's just keep wandering around. Surely nothing bad could happen. And we'll work on the enemy mech while we're at it, because, you know, why not?
Repairs completed.
This would have been much easier with BPCs and autocannons.
Target destroyed.
Oh yeah, catch air in a damaged hovercraft. That's brilliant.
Target destroyed.
There we go.
Okay, that
Now we
should be
get
the
to
last
face
of
him.
them. I'm on my way back.
So soon? The fun's just starting.
Who's on this frequency? Identify.
You don't recognize my voice? I'm hurt. This is Lieutenant Burke. Time for you to join your
I think
uncle,
that's
you
a Loki
worthless
museum. We'll
insect.
find out when I
Ian, get out of there.
Where's he
get a
gonna
lock
go,
on
lady?
here.
No place to run. Doesn't have his lance to hold his hand. So
Either a
sad.
Loki or a Thor.
Omega units, move to
Neither one of them really
0040
looks all that much like they're
2151
supposed to
speed.
in this
Omega
actual
lead
Thor.
requires assistance.
Oh, but they're too far away, Major. By the
But
time
they don't
anyone
look
gets here, there won't
awful.
be anything
There's
left
way
to
worse
save. I knew you were
versions
in
of some of the
here,
mechs in this
Sorry.
game, but
It was just a matter
neither
of
one of
hunting
them
you
is
down.
really
Couldn't resist a chance to
distinguishable
save
from
your
the other in
people.
this.
Let's see you save yourself. When I finish with you, Dressara, you'll be just as dead as the rest of your family.
Probably not much of a fight in this, to be honest. He's
That's
pretty
the
easy to
best
take
you
out.
have? You fight worse than Sir Peter did. Come on, boy. Give me a little sport for my trouble. Time to join your daddy, boy. I'm getting tired of this. You're outclassed, outgunned, and out of time. Any last words?
I think the hovercraft did more damage than that heavy battle mech did.
Target's neutralized, Control. I'm heading back.
Ian, you're all right?
I'll make it.
And Burke?
He's dead, Major. He didn't eject. Maybe he was afraid to.
Good riddance. Omega units, head to 00412150. Escort Omega lead back to base.
All that didn't even get to salvage his mech, damn it.
Hi. Are you alright?
I'm fine, thanks.
I thought maybe you weren't going to come back. I thought maybe everything was over.
something happens to me, the team has what it takes to finish things.
Well, maybe. But I'm not sure we could go on if we lost you. I couldn't.
I appreciate it, Jen. I do. The team's already shown it can handle the sacrifices, because we honored what they were fighting for. If I don't come back, Jen, honor me. Keep fighting. Free Kentares.
This is the voice of freedom. While Lord Roland and his puppet Duke talk of peace, they threaten atrocity. Now the Resistance moves openly to silence their threats and lies. Across Kentares, Resistance groups no longer operate in secret, instead moving openly and in force against Steiner occupation troops. Last night, several of the Emir province border towns and garrisons have been retaken. In Hadra, the prison camps that once held our Duke Eric's top military personnel now lie in ruin. The prisoners freed to help carry forward the battle for freedom. James Cullen, the hated architect of Eric's murder and the abduction and execution of the innocent, now lies dead. In Jatil, Resistance forces under Joanna Dressari have won repeated battles and heavy fighting with Roland's forces, striking key targets and crippling Roland's campaign of oppression. And on the Meridian coast, Ian Dressari fights to save Vale, threatened with destruction by Lord Roland. Already the deadline imposed by Roland has passed, yet Vale still lives. One by one, Roland's lies are silenced, his threats answered, and with your help soon his rule will end. Act, citizens of Kentares. Rally behind your royal family. Free your world and yourselves.
Alright, so this one is one where actually you you need speed more than you need firepower. This is probably the last one of the missions where I could really say that. Yeah, no, she's not getting my Mad Cat. She wanted her to have the Mauler. I mean, firepower is definitely important with some of the stuff you're into, but you need to run from point to point quite a bit, so... 2 heavies, 2 relatively fast assaults. Mauler is not fast by any stretch, but it's a lot faster than something like an Atlas. And the missiles it has on it are the main reason I put her in it, with what we have coming up here. Check your weight, dummy. There we go. Back to the usual. Also, I'm kind of curious with the timing of having done this. If anybody that watches these, just curious, anybody else back the Kickstarter on this one? I've missed out on all the other Catalyst Battletech game starters, so I made sure to get in on this one. Can't really afford it, but
I've got a few
wanted
recon
in.
units deployed. It looks like Roland's mustering everything he can to get to the area. There's still a couple of civilian ships being loaded at the docks. You're their only protection. We haven't sighted Indomitable yet, but she'll be here shortly. I'll warn you once she's in range. Omega Recon, what are you seeing?
Private I-49er, we've got to get these people out fast. Steiner units are firing at anything in sight. We have some patrols and a tank unit sighted. Nav Point Alpha. A couple of fighters flew over about a minute ago.
Roger. Moving to engage at Alpha.
I've designated the docks as Nav Point Beta. Firing on civilians.
I'm also still kind of pissed off that I missed out on the MechWarrior Online Kickstarter, even though I ended up not really liking the game or sticking with it all that long, but man, it had some good swag that I would have liked to have gotten my hands on.
Roger.
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 Destroyed. Target destroyed.
Looks like a Steiner heavy at range.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
new Kickstarter is for the Mercenaries expansion for it, which I'm not real huge into Mercenaries, but when it's some of the swag I saw that was available is, and the add-ons that are available are from the Mercenary unit. I do like the Eridani Light Horse, so I decided I had to jump on that one. All the bigger, badder, more popular mercenary units like the Wolf Dragoons and the Kellhounds and all that stuff. Never been a huge fan of. Don't dislike them, don't root against them. They just never were my thing, but I like the Eridani Light Horse. I like the idea of the unit that traces its lineage all the way back to the Star League and tries its best to hold on to the ideals and everything of the old Star League, so. Plus, you know, like cavalry. I'm thinking I might do a brief video on them at some point, as much as I talk about MechWarrior 3, that's my favorite one in these series. The Eridani Light Horse is the unit you play as for there, so I'm going to do just a little brief, you know, this is what the unit is, and this is why I like it kind of thing.
Warning. Approaching.
Check fire, that's a friendly.
Warning. Heat exceeding record level critical. Shutdown imminent. Target destroyed.
I mean, it's going to be a long time before I get the pledge backer stuff that I got, or I'm going to be getting, but still looking forward to it. Some of the swag I missed out on from the last ones I've been able to pick up on eBay, stuff that I wanted to get. Like, I got a Goliath Scorpion Challenge coin and a few other things.
Target destroyed.
Never backed a Kickstarter before. I usually don't find out about them until it's too late to do any good or don't have the money. I don't really have the money right now, but I can probably save it up by then, hopefully, to be able to pay for it. If not, I can cancel it at the last minute if I have to. I don't want to, but sometimes you gotta do stuff like that. They've more than passed their goals, so my $300 or whatever that I've pledged is not gonna cost them in the long run. They're at like $5 million or something now. It's ridiculous how many people backed it and how much they pledged. Which is first gonna be another one of those things where I'll set the money aside for something fun that I want to do, and then real life will interfere, like my frickin' car will die or something on me. That always seems to happen.
Enemy detected. Enemy detected. Target destroyed. Enemy detected. Enemy detected. Enemy detected.
Roger.
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 God, I can't shoot them things. Like last year, I was supposed to take a trip to Romania. I was going to go to the big air show in Bucharest and visit some friends and shit while I was there for a week or so, and then literally the day that I was going to go online and buy the tickets that I needed, the airline tickets to get there, my freaking power steering on my car went, and that ended up costing pretty much all the money I had set aside, so there went that.
We have mechs en route. They'll take care of the Steiner hostiles. Just stay getting the remaining
Every
refugees
time I
home.
have, oh, I can do something fun for myself, something always happens. Life always interferes.
Roger that. You copy Omega Lead?
I copy.
Or, whenever I want to do something with my kids, like last year we were supposed to go to an air show here, my frickin' car died right when we were supposed to go do it. So I have bad luck. Don't buy it. Don't buy it, jeez. God, they suck nowadays. They used to be good. My old one was awesome. The current one I have is a piece of shit. Nice little nod to H.G. Wells there with the ship being named Thunderchild.
Going down.
That's one. Take out the second, and the refugees should have a clear path. Target destroyed.
Target destroyed.
That's a kill.
Take out designated target.
Roger.
Roger.
Roger. That boat's going where it belongs. Murderers. There goes the second frigate. To the bottom. Omega Lance. Forward concerns second frigate is sinking. Omega Rescue.
Although the original Thunderchild is protecting refugees trying to flee from an alien invasion, not part of the invading force trying to kill civilians, but still, nice little nod.
That's a kill.
Omega.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Thunderchild is a fictional ship from H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds that, while protecting a convoy of refugees, sacrifices itself to take out one of the alien tripods to get the people to safety.
Defend my target.
Roger. Roger. Roger.
It's also where the name of the Akira-class Thunderchild from Star Trek came from. That's the one that pops up in First Contact fighting the Borg. That's why they went with that name. That was also a nod to the War of the Worlds. So this one's pretty much done. When this one's done, we'll be done with this part of the campaign. So I'll just go ahead and sign off now rather than talk over stuff. As always, thank you for watching this. Please give a like and subscribe if you can or want to. It is always greatly appreciated. I'm very happy to see pretty much every one of these I put out. I'm picking up a subscriber or two. Thank you very much for that. It helps out, and I do very much appreciate it. So a week, maybe two, because I have a bunch of editing to do. We'll have the finale of MechWarrior 4 Vengeance coming out. And then we'll start in on the Black Knight Legion. Then I'll decide if I want to do Mercenaries, because I'll talk a little bit more in the Black Knight Legion videos about the issues I'm having with that. But anyway, have a good one. We'll see you on the next. Later.
The refugees are away. They're safe. Head back, and we'll get set for lift. The Resistance has been broadcasting the battle live. I'll patch you in.
This is Allison Blum aboard the Alouette. We're just off the Meridian coast now and headed for open water. We have just witnessed a pitched battle between the occupation forces and Rasari loyalists. Vale is all but destroyed. But even as Steiner shelled the town and fired on civilians attempting escape, Ian Rasari stood with us and silenced Roland's murderers. The Alouette is the last of a flotilla that evacuated the entire town. We're now following the rest of the ships heading out to sea and to safety. Vale is no more. But Lord Roland's threats against the people is now an empty one. People of Kentares, unite with us. Today it's been dramatically proven that Roland can no longer oppress us. Kentares will be free.